Hello, Barry William Maglidity, your host of the Comeback Game podcast. And today I interview Timothy Martin, one of our previous guests from Success is Voluntary. In the midst of the COVID-19 and the significant global financial crisis that is upon us right now, it was really important for us to discuss mindset and around how I'm certainly noticing, and he's noticing as well in our social networks, that there's kind of three types of people. There's the people that are fear-focused and that are consuming way too much media. They're very much not making decisions to move their business or their life forwards. They're hoping, wishing, and praying for things to return to normal. There's the people that are more unfocused, that are kind of burying their heads in the sand. They're consuming less media, but they are still hoping this will wash over. They're talking about having plans and putting things in place, yet there's a kind of lack of motivation to make that happen. And then there's more the strategic focused people, the people that are out there making plans, seeking opportunities, taking the current environment as being the new norm and using that to pivot their business, using that to pivot their models to ensure that they can stay in business and they can keep their employees in business as well. So during this interview, Tim and I discussed deeply around the mindsets and personal experiences we've had through our past experiences going through financial situations, global financial situations, and also give some key tips that business owners should be taking right now to ensure that while you're locked inside and not allowed outside of your house, you can go inside within your own house, inside within your own heart, your own sense of who you are, and seek the answers that many of us wish to find the most. So let's head over to this fantastic interview now. And if you like it, please comment, share, let us know that you love it. If you don't love it, let us know that too. We love feedback. But let's head over to this interview with Tim now. Timothy Martin, welcome back to the Comeback Game podcast. Tim's from Success is Voluntary. And we had you on an episode quite a few episodes ago. And I enjoyed myself so much, we thought we'd get you back. But also, I believe that you missed off a part of a story. You only told half the story.
Yeah, that's right. That's funny. Yeah. We'll get into that in just a second. I just want to say I am so happy that you invited me back on. I was really excited, and I hope that I brought value last time, and hopefully we can bring value this time. So well, I guess I'll start with the story. I think it's a pretty important one, especially for what's going on right now in the world, because, let me, I'm going to tell the first part of the story again. So
Yeah.
people have to go back and listen, but
So just before you get into it, so for those of you out there that are watching or listening to this right now, like we are in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic globally. Tim's in lockdown over there in Arizona, isn't it?
Yep, Arizona.
Yep. I'm in lockdown here in Perth, Australia. It's pretty crazy times over there. And we've got some awesome stuff to share with you guys today. So Tim, take us away with the story.
You bet. Well, I know I mentioned last time I was on, I talked about how I didn't grow up poor exactly. We talked a lot about that mindset, though, of a poverty mindset, or at least not an abundance mindset. My dad said things like, they may have a lot of money, but they're not as happy as we are, or
Yeah.
money causes all sorts of problems, or so I kind of grew up in that. I didn't realize how poor we were, well, not poor, but until I went back several years after I graduated high school. We had moved to Arizona. My whole family had moved to Arizona. I went by my house. I'm like, holy cow, that thing is so small, but I had shoes and I had food, and, I got to wear designer jeans. I think I mentioned the last time, Tough Skins from Sears and Roebuck, those, those jeans you couldn't even sit down in at first. So the story is that in between my junior year and senior year of high school, I was supposed to march with a drum and bugle corps called the Casper Troopers. And for those of you unfamiliar with drum and bugle corps, it's like marching band except for bigger nerds. Okay. What we do in drum and bugle corps is you spend the whole summer going from town to town. It doesn't have any woodwinds. It's all bugles, they call them, like a trumpet, but it only has two valves, at any rate, and drums. And so it was a big deal. The Casper Troopers, I think there's like 30 of these drum and bugle corps in the United States. Casper Troopers consistently, even though a small little town or state of Wyoming, at least population-wise, they were in the top 2 or 3 year after year after year. And so my buddy and I went and auditioned, and we made it. it was huge. It was a big honor. People came in from all over the country to audition, and of course, this is well before cell phones and also we drove back. Finally got home, told my parents that I had made it. 3 hours, later, get home, and they're excited. We're hugging. Everything is really, really fun. And then I go to bed, and the next morning I get up. My dad is sitting there, and he looks very uncomfortable. I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Tim, we got to talk." Okay. And he said, "I've gone through this packet from a financial standpoint, which I hadn't done yet. I hadn't even looked at it. It says it's going to cost us $1,800 this summer for you to march in the Casper Troopers." And I said, "Tim, I just don't have it." And I think I had $18 in my checking account. So I didn't get a march. My friend went and he had a blast and all of that, but I didn't get to go. So I told that story last time. I didn't pay it off. I promised I would. So here's the payoff. Fast forward to, I can't even remember the year, but it's a bunch of years. My daughter now is a freshman in high school. And she comes home from the very first day, freshman year, and she tells me her whole class is going to Washington, D.C. in the spring. I said, "Your whole class?" She goes, "Absolutely, the whole class." I said, "Everybody," she goes, "Dad, everybody for the last 5 years, 100% of the class has gone to Washington, D.C." And she gave me the papers, and I'm reading through it, and it says, they're going to sell Christmas paper and oranges, and I mean, all these things, car washes, whatever, to raise this money. And you could put it on payments, right? And then I look at the very bottom, and there's an option to pay it all at once, and you get a discount. Want to guess how much that was? $1,800. The exact same as what my parents couldn't afford. I went and I wrote the check. I didn't have to because of opportunity, because of having the right mindset, because of all the things that had changed in my life. When I wrote that check, I didn't have to check my balance. I wasn't making Bill Gates kind of money or Elon Musk kind of money, but I didn't have to check. I didn't have to say, well, if I pay the electric bill a little late this month, I'll be okay. Or, I didn't have to do that. And it didn't dawn on me until about 2 days later that was the exact same dollar amount. It still gives me goosebumps when I think of the story. And so that's what working on yourself, working on getting your mindset right, working on skill set, in my case, it's in sales, working on skill sets in sales. I just wanted to pay that off because it's the rest of the story is Paul Harvey.
And I think that it's relevant from this perspective is that at the moment we're going through a significant upheaval. And what I'm noticing is that there's kind of three types of people that are emerging through this situation. There's the fear-focused people that are consuming way too much social media and filling their days with social media and are so caught up in the fear of what's happening that they're not taking any action towards working on themselves or working on their business. Right. Then there's kind of the unfocused people that are consuming 3 to 4 times less social media, but still are consuming it. And they're kind of the people that are burying their heads in the sand and hoping that things will wash over, but they're not necessarily so caught up in the fear of it. And then there's more the strategic focused people that have got better emotional regulation and control because they've chosen to work on themselves and continue to choose to work on themselves. And they're the ones that are choosing to pivot. They're the ones that are choosing to take decisive action around what needs to be done to see themselves and their business come through the other side of this. And it's funny because I read a quote last night that I thought was really relevant. And it said, if you think of a recession as a sharp curve on an auto racetrack, the best place to pass the competitors, but requiring more skill than, so the tight curves are the best place to pass competitors, but it requires more skill than passing in a straight run. The best drivers apply the brake just out of the curve which is they take out excessive costs. They turn hard towards the apex of the curve, identifying a short list of projects that will form the next and new business model, and they accelerate hard out of the curve, spend and hire before markets have rebounded. And what we see is that a lot of people are like, oh, when things get back to normal,
Right.
When they're burying their head in the sand, or they're caught up in the fear and the scarcity, and they're waiting for this to blow over. Yet the question I've got to everyone watching and listening today is like, what if this is the new normal? What if what we're experiencing right now is the new normal, right?
Right.
What if this is the new normal? How long are you going to wait before you decide to do something about it, as opposed to focusing right now on pivoting your business to be able to not only stay afloat, but to profit in the current times? And I say that with the utmost respect. I get there's health concerns and there's issues going on right now, but you've also got a business to run. You've got a family to feed. You've got employees to keep in work, right? What decisions are you making with your business, with your team, to ensure that you can move through these times and provide solutions to people's problems? Because people still have problems and they're still spending money.
They sure are. They sure are. As I look back on some of the different things that have happened, whether it's a natural disaster like Hurricane Katrina that wiped out big sections of New Orleans, or the wildfires. Well, I don't need to tell you about wildfires, but wildfires in California, or those kinds of things. There's always huge opportunity following those, and I think there's going to be huge opportunity following this. From a sales guy, from a guy that's reaching out to business owners and directors of sales and VPs and CEOs of companies. What I'm finding right now, Barry, is it's awesome, because these guys are actually answering their phone right now, right? They're not on a plane somewhere. They're not in some conference. They're actually around and they're answering their phone. And maybe we can't move the deal, can't do the work on the back end that we need to do right now, but we are signing deals right now because I can actually get in front of them. Well, through the magic of Zoom, I can get in front of them. I can actually have conversations with them where most of the time I can't. And I think that we're going to see, my daughter works for Disney, and she works in Florida at Disney World, and, they're shut down. And so that, who knows when that'll come back. I hope soon. Right. But so there's certain industries that it's going to be really tough to recover from this quickly, especially if this is the new normal. I don't know how you do that exactly, but somebody will figure it out. And I truly believe that. And the other thing that I truly believe is that the ingenuity, we're going to have a vaccine. We're going to have the ability to cure this. There will be another one. We know there will be something else eventually, but maybe we can take the lessons we're learning now and put them in the future. Be ready for the future with that.
Yeah. And to circle back to what I shared too about the new normal, the reality is that at any point in time, it's our perception of life is the way we see life. Like, we never see life the way life is. We see life the way that we are, through our perception. And this circles back and beautifully into what you've shared around mindset, right? And success being voluntary, is that, yeah, sure, maybe in a month's time, in 6 months' time, we might not all still be quarantined. But the reality is that the experience that you and I and the rest of the population is having right now, whatever that is for us, whatever our perceptions are of that experience, is our normal right now. And so many people in business, go back even 6 months ago, before this even started, if I just could get cheaper leads, if my sales guys could just convert at a higher conversion rate, if my team just did the right thing, they're always living in some other place than where they are right now. And so the reality is that you and I, the rest of the world, we're living where we are right now, and all we can do is make decisions based on the current circumstances. Now, we can make a decision to consume too much media and be caught up in the fear. We could make a decision to bury our head in the sand and hope that the business is still there in a few months' time to start trading again. Or we can make a decision to take on board everything that we see and everything we know, use this time to work on ourselves, and use this time to work out who out there still has problems that need solving that we can solve, right? There's a lot of bonuses, like you said, like our connection rate to prospects has gone way up because they're not as busy there answering their phones. There's a lot of positives out there. And, we've had clients that have had gyms that were forced to shut down, no foreseeable opening. We had people that own basketball coaching facilities, dancing studios. And it's interesting to see that 90% of our clients have taken on board the coaching, taken on board the advice. And these people have gone from one day having a thriving business, looking to open up multiple more locations, the next day having no revenue coming in and no foreseeable future, and the next day opening up an offer online, retaining all their clients and being able to attract more clients further abroad because they now have a more versatile offering that once things return to normal, once they get those facilities open back up, they've now got two product offerings. So there's a huge amount of opportunity right now, but it all starts with us. Like if we can't go outside our house, we need to go inside within us.
I like that. If we can't go outside our house, we need to go inside of us. No, you're dead right. As I look around the landscape of business here in the United States, you're absolutely right. Some people are pivoting, right? If you run a restaurant, you cannot do all that online. But what you can do, and what I'm seeing, is companies are having incredible success on carryout. I read I try and stay off social media as much as I can, but occasionally the other day I was on it and somebody said, in hindsight, I probably should have picked another hobby other than just going out to dinner, right? Because now you can't go out to dinner. But I've seen restaurants. I have a friend who owns a pizza place. They're doing more business than ever because they are built for this. But so can your business. I really believe, as you said, you can pivot your business to meet those demands.
Yeah,
I'm part of a.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm part of a men's group through my church, and we average around 20 people that come on a weekly basis. But it's not always the same 20, right? It kind of rotates in and out. Well, right now we're having almost 40 people meet online every week.
Yeah.
So we went from 20 people that would stop in and to 40. And we've already decided if and when we can go back to having meetings in person, we're going to also broadcast it. Who knows? Maybe we can get to 60 or 80. And this is not a business. This is just from a spiritual standpoint for me and the people that are meeting. And so great opportunities out there.
Yeah. I saw recently there's a business in Sydney, I believe, a bar that pivoted and offered delivery of cocktails.
That's happening here too,
Right.
which didn't used to be legal, but they've let it happen right now, I guess.
Absolutely. And what I shared with all of our clients the other week is there's two reasons why you're not going to come through the other side of this. First and foremost is being way too caught up in your head and not connected to your heart. Being way too caught up in all the fear, all the conversation that happens between the 6 inches of real estate between your ears, right? Because we're not our thoughts. We're so far beyond our thoughts, us as non-physical, spiritual beings. Right. So get into your heart and get tapped into the intuition, get tapped into knowing. The second thing is holding on to too much of what once worked. Right. If we're too stuck on, no, but this thing was working, this thing used to work. It's like people you see that hold on to relationships way too long because the perception of the way they perceive that they used to be when they first met in the first week of dating, right? Yet they're 10 years down the track and think they're clearly not working, yet they're holding on to the notion that it used to work. Right. So if you're willing to work on yourself and tap into your inner game and tap into your heart and intuition, if you're willing to pivot, if you're willing to lean into the uncertainty, I think Napoleon Hill said in his book, Think and Grow Rich, that with every seed, with every crisis comes with a seed of equal or greater opportunity. And like, holy shit, if we get even the seed of just equal opportunity to this, man, oh man, the world is going to be a beautiful place.
Yeah. I don't know if you know who Bob Berg is. He's a gentleman here. And do you know Bob?
Yeah.
You know who Bob is? Yeah. He right now is talking a lot about how he does a lot of work for your audience. He does a lot of work around referrals. He calls himself the referral coach, I think. He works around referrals and predominantly in the financial services arena, whether that's a stockbroker or insurance where I've come from. And he cites some statistics. I don't have them in front of me, but he talks about how if you take advantage of it if you really keep your head in the game. A lot of advisors, their business just explodes after something like this. Whenever it's way down, the market is way down, the business is panicking. That's when there's so much opportunity. In fact, Warren Buffett says when people are buying, you need to sell, and when people are selling, you need to buy. I'm that's a paraphrase, but yeah, when people are panicking, that's the time to buy.
Yeah,
Right?
when people are scared, you should be greedy, and when people are greedy, you should be scared.
That's the quote. There you go. You know the quote. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
I believe it. But, this all starts with our mind. And, I honestly believe too that this is not like, we're not talking here positive thinking. We're not talking here like, don't pay attention that there's a serious situation happening. Because a lot of people, I see a lot of like ultra spiritual people are like, oh, like, it's all good. Just on with your day. Like, the virus can't get me. Like, that's bullshit, right?
right.
There's a situation happening right now. And we need to both see that and acknowledge that that's going on, but also see and acknowledge that there is great opportunity right now. And once we can see and acknowledge both, we can then make a conscious decision of which way we choose. But I see so many people that are too heavily focused over here on all the scarcity and the fear and the situation, or too many people that are way too focused over here. And you can't make a decision from that place. It's like my saying, you can't get rich collecting one-sided coins. Like,
Right.
life is duality. There's cause and effect. There's light and dark. There's good and bad, perceivably. And it's only through acknowledging and accepting both of those that we can then make the decision moving forwards. So if you're a business owner right now, this is not just think positively, it's all going to work out. No, like see both sides, choose to realize that this is where things are at right now, and then make a decision that's going to see you move your business forwards for your family, for your friends, and for the greater community.
Yeah, I think what you said there, something you said there, you didn't say it like this, but there's a big difference between being being concerned, right? We have to be concerned, but we don't need to be in fear. And you were talking about different people before we hit record. I mentioned that to you. I really believe that everybody I talk to is in one camp or the other. There's people that I don't hang out with people that are super spiritual, that God is going to save me. I'm never going to, I can walk through fire. I mean, that may be true, but that's not that's not a real good way to live right at the moment, I don't think. But at any rate, they're panicking on one end, or the people I'm around, the people that kind of have the right mindset, they're paying attention, like you said. They know what's going on, but they're not on the news sites 24/7. They're not on social media. I read something on social media a few weeks ago. Am I the only one that's staying up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning worrying about this? And I said, yeah, well, you're not the only one, but I'm not going to do that. I want to know a little bit about what's going on, but I don't want to dwell on it. Right. I have some, I just, so what I see, like I said, the people I'm hanging around, they understand what's going on, but they choose not to panic. They choose to understand that this is an opportunity just from a family standpoint, spending more time with your family. Or my wife mentioned the other day, she said, people are complaining about being bored already. That's kind of an indictment on how we are as a people, that we're so busy. We're so busy running around, when we actually have to sit still in our house for a few days. People are losing their mind.
Mm. Yeah. It's interesting. I think the other thing is, I hope we don't see an increase in divorce rates after everyone's allowed back outside. And although it's funny, it's not. It's serious too, because
Yeah.
we're in a high stress pressure cooker environment. A lot of people are, right,
Mhm.
losing their jobs,
Right.
financial instability, being quarantined to their own house around their partner and kids, who for some people maybe haven't spent more than an hour a day with for the last 10
Right.
years,
Right.
right? And they're forced into this environment, not able to go outside. There's a serious concern there. And I guess, some things that I shared yesterday with our community. Number one is, your partner and your kids are not your enemy. right? They're
Right.
in this situation together, and if all you had left on earth was them, like treat them with the love and respect they deserve. They're on the same team as you.
Mm.
You know, spend some time understanding them and learning their love language, learning how to communicate to them in a way that they can receive love from you, and vice versa, communicate to them what you need to be able to receive love, and create some healthy boundaries. Like, it's important that you create some space that you can both have some alone time. The kids can give you guys as a couple some alone time, and respect that and cultivate that. Just because you're locked in the same house doesn't mean you can't honor each other's needs for some one-on-one. Read a book, meditate, pray, whatever the case may be, but create some structure and some boundaries and some routine about it, which is going to give your kids some certainty of when mum and dad's going to be around, but also going to give you guys some sanity in your relationships as well.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. I am very fortunate, very blessed that my kids are all out of the house. And in fact, I just talk about a blessing. My oldest daughter got married on the 13th of March, just before all of this really got out of control here in the United States. It was just starting to pick up. So we flew back on Sunday, the 15th, and the plane was empty, right? But so that was kind of at the beginning of this whole thing where nobody had gone on lockdown or anything like that yet, but it was just a few days afterwards. But all my kids are out of the house. That's what I was going to say. All my kids are out of the house, and so I'm not having to do homeschooling. I'm not having to keep them quiet while I'm on a Zoom meeting, right? I get that my life is a little different than some people's, but my wife is working from home for the first time ever,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I've been working from home for a long time. So I've got a routine. I know I still got to get up and I got to put on a shirt, and I can't sit in my pajamas all day and all that. And so she's fortunately, she has her own office. In fact, if we downsize and we have to get a house that has only one office, we will be divorced, Barry. There's no way we're going to share an office with her. But anyway, she's got her own offices on the other side of the house than mine. But I found it interesting when I go downstairs to grab a drink of water or use the restroom or whatever. She wants to talk to me, and which is I love her, but it's I'm at work, you're at work, go to work, and so it's you got to draw those boundaries, and maybe it sounds silly, but it's something that we're working through, right? And it's just the two of us in a really nice size house, about 3,000 square foot house. Two of us, you would think we would want to be on top of each other, but we can be unless we're set those boundaries.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, super important, super important. So, Tim, what I'd love to know before we wrap up, like, what are 3 bits of advice that you have for business owners to help them to kind of navigate the times we're experiencing, the times ahead right now?
Three bits of advice. Number one is over communicate to your team.
Yeah,
If you're not telling the story, they're going to make up a story.
yeah,
They just are. And so uh, you want them to understand your story. You want them to understand that you are paying attention, that you care about them, even if you have to lay them off, that it's not an easy decision, and assure them when things come back, they're still going to be part of your team,
mm,
if that makes sense. The second thing I think I would talk to a business owner about right now is you have some downtime. Uh, Pay attention to what is in your heart. I think that if you really had, you just go year after year after year trying to just tweak the engine a little bit, get a little bit more juice out of it. Try and get just a little bit more and a little bit more, making these incremental changes. Well, now you have an opportunity to stop and say, is this the business that I really want? What would happen if? You've
mm,
got some of that time. So stop worrying about making incremental changes, and think about what could happen in the future if you made a major shift in your business, because right now you have that opportunity.
mm.
And then the third thing I think I would tell a business owner to in these times is it's not all about the success of your business. You have people that are counting on you for more than a paycheck, for more than a lifestyle of being able to take vacations, for all those things that we want, nothing wrong with them. We try really hard to provide those monetary and things and experiences for our family. But some of my best times with my family had nothing to do with money. Now, you and I know that I have no problem with money. You have no problem with money, right? But a lot of the times, some of the best times I remember are just sitting down playing a game with the kids at the kitchen table. Having the ability to reach out. I've made more phone calls to people in my family and friends over the last couple weeks just because I had the time to do it, not because I'm freaking out or worried about them. I want to check in, but it's been awesome.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Over communicate to your team and to those around you. Absolutely. Take a moment to stop and decide, is this really the business you want to be in? I think it's great advice. Like it's a whole world reset right now, and the ability that we have, many people as well that potentially have been employees for a long time have the opportunity to start something for themselves.
Right.
Not being employed, there's nothing really to lose right now.
Right.
Now's the opportunity to kind of follow your heart and follow your dreams. And yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. I think I've had to reinvent myself every 5 years just because I would get bored. So absolutely, this is a great chance to reinvent yourself.
Yeah. Timothy, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show today. For those that are wanting to maybe connect in with you, where's the best place to find you online?
Yeah, the website, always the website, successesvoluntary.com. I not huge in social media. I probably should be more, but no, successesvoluntary.com is the best place. I'm also on LinkedIn under Tim Martin, or the real Tim Martin, or no, the Tim Martin. That's what I am on LinkedIn.
The Tim
Martin. Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate it. Stay safe. Make sure you wash your hands to your elbows.
Yeah, no kidding. Stay safe, stay healthy.
Thanks, mate.
If you're in a position that many of our clients were before joining us, which is that your business is controlling you rather than you controlling your business, we would love to have a chat to you to see whether or not we might be the right fit to partner with you to help you grow and succeed in business. And over the past 8 years, we've helped hundreds of business owners around the world to grow, scale, and succeed in business. Many of our clients report that we've helped them to triple their profits and double their time off in 12 months or less. If you jump onto YouTube and notice the hundreds of testimonies, you'd see that this is a common theme amongst them. If you're a business owner that's generating more than $300,000 a year in annual revenue, whether it's $500 million, $5 million, even $10 million a year, and you're looking to take your business and your life to the next level, we might be able to help. If you're noticing that your business is lacking structure, maybe systems or processes, maybe you're not quite attracting enough or the right type of quality leads, making enough sales, or maybe you're even having issues finding, hiring, retaining, and training the right team members, we could be a fit for you. Ultimately, we believe that we never have business problems, we have personal problems that are expressed through our business, and a lot of the work we do is with you as a business owner, helping you to constantly upgrade the way that you see life, the way that you make decisions, and the way that you help construct a profitable and purpose-driven business. In order for us to do that though, you need to book in a quick 15-minute application call with one of our scaling specialists here at the Game Changers. Through the 15-minute call, we're going to ask you a bunch of questions to see if or how we might better help you. If we can't help you, we'll let you know politely and do our best to point in the direction of someone that can. However, if we can help you, we'll look at booking you a 1-hour game plan session where we're going to dive a lot deeper into where you and your business are at right now, where it is that you want to go in the next 3, 5, and 10 years' time, and what are the potential roadblocks or challenges or even opportunities that are along the journey in order for you to get there faster. If you're really feeling that it's time for you to experience the love and the joy of running a business again, if you're really wanting to experience a business that does actually operate without you while still producing profit, we may very well be the right fit. So book in a 15-minute call, we can have a chat and see where we go from there. My name is Brad Moditi, and thanks for listening. Hopefully we get a chance to talk soon.